Welcome to this episode of LVI TV. I'm Mark Duncan, and I'm going to share with you one of the very few things that I'll flat out tell you not to think about, just to go and get. Hi again. I'm excited to share something incredible and powerful that has been around for, well, pretty much ever. Just not in dentistry. Fortunately, that's all changing, and we have a couple of options on the market. Hopefully, you caught the June issue of AGD Impact and saw the overview of Anutra's local anesthetic delivery system. This is what I want you to get your hands on. And here's why. Patients really don't have much to consider when they judge our dentistry. Do they trust us is the first question, but that's hard to quantify. Do we abuse their time is a little easier, so there's huge value in running on time, but the one that people remember is, do we hurt them? Back in the early days of local anesthetics, we used Novocaine, and it would burn and honestly not really even fully anesthetize people, so the process was to shake the crap out of the face to distract the patient from the pinch and the burn of the shot, and then you pick up your drill and you go to town because they're not going to get numb no matter how long you wait. Now, if you break that down, it pretty much sucks on all fronts. It's scary, it feels wrong to the patient, it burns when you deliver it, it doesn't work, so they're miserable with the experience regardless of what else you do. Now, fortunately, we have better anesthetic options today. One of the most predictable and effective and cheapest happens to be lidocaine, but that's not without its own problems. What we've been using is actually pretty acidic, about the same pH as citric acid. We happen to be essentially neutral pH at about 7.4, and when you inject the anesthetic, it burns as the body fights to buffer it. Then we need to wait until it's at that neutral pH for it to actually cross the nerve membrane and have the anesthetic effect we're after. So depending on location, that's anywhere from a couple minutes to 15 minutes for the larger nerves like the lower block. Of course, in practice, that's also the least predictable block because it's largely delivered blind and technique is critical. So we wait 15 minutes, the patient still isn't numb, we re-inject and wait another 15 minutes, and they're white-knuckled and miserable, and our day just kind of rolls on that way. We're stressed out because we hurt people, and people hate being there. Of course, we could specialize our practice in just upper teeth, but that's a hard practice to manage. And it still burns when you anesthetize the upper teeth, so your stress is still there. Or we could use a product like buffered lidocaine that Anutra provides. This system happens to cost about half of the only other option on the market in terms of price per use, and it allows you to decide how much anesthetic you're going to need on your own. Instead of the silly math of 1.8 mLs per carpule, we simply draw off 1 ml if that's what we need, or 3 or 6, or however much we need for whatever procedure we're going to do. And the freshly buffered anesthetic actually creates a carbon dioxide microbubble that's more effective as a topical than any topical you can buy, and that includes the souped up ones from compounding pharmacists. So using this system, you can minimize steps and create an incredibly efficient procedure in your office. The appointment would go something like this. You describe the procedures for the day, answer any questions the patient might have, thank them for their confidence in you, and congratulate them on their decisions to get their mouth more healthy. Then apply dry cotton gauze to the site you're planning to anesthetize and lay the patient chair back. Then you draw off however much anesthetic you plan to use that day. Place the needle on the syringe, and then you find your landmarks and drip a drop of the solution on the dry tissue at the injection site. Then inject slowly because fluid dynamics are still obviously an issue to consider. After you administer the local, you remove the syringe and pick up your handpiece. For the upper arch, you're ready to go essentially right away. And for the lower, you'll have profound anesthesia in less than 2 minutes. In either case, you don't have to go find something else to do while you wait for the patient to get numb. The buffered solution doesn't burn and works much, much faster and streamlines your work protocols so that you don't have to waste time walking around the office waiting for the anesthetic to finally kick in. The system is elegant in its simplicity and truly belongs in any office that's anesthetizing their patients. So, go to anutramedical.com and check this out for yourself. I know you'll love it. And thanks for tuning in. Until next time, I'm Mark Duncan.
Clinical dentists in the world. Their knowledge is amazing, and it is just a truly, I can describe it no other way, but it's an eye-opening experience. You don't know what you don't know. Boy, oh boy, does that ring true.
Measures and pressuring providers to reduce cost. 8. The Affordable Care Act pediatric dental benefits will provide millions of additional children with dental coverage through small group and individual markets and optional Medicaid expansions. 9. Public programs with
pain shooting here sometimes and across this muscle.
I had dizzy spells, I had ringing of the ear.
Full-fledged migraine knocked me out, put me in a dark room, put an ice pack on my head.